Hello everyone, this is Krishan Kumar Sehrawat. Today we will be covering structure, and this is one of the topics in the first unit of the class 12th HBSC. Let's see the syllabus. As you can see here, structure class 12th computer science syllabus. This is the PDF from the internet. Defining a structure, creating structure variables. Today we will be covering both of these. So today's agenda is this. First of all, we should understand why we need a structure before studying it. Defining a structure, creating structure variables. So first, before studying structure, we had arrays. We have already studied. एंड वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ एरे. क्या कमी रह गई है एरे में जिससे कि हमें स्ट्रक्चर की ज़रूरत पड़ी. लुक व्हाट इज ए स्ट्रक्चर. स्ट्रक्चर इज एन यूज़र डिफाइंड डाटा टाइप विच अलाउज यूज़र टू कंबाइन डाटा आइटम्स ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. दे आर सेइंग दैट इट इज़ ए यूज़र डिफाइंड डाटा टाइप. डाटा टाइप represents what kind of data we can store in some memory location, and it is user defined, means it will be defined by user or programmer, and it will combine the data items, means it is a group of data elements of different types. But if you see, array was a group of elements of same data type, right, with a fixed size. Okay, and array used to store all of the elements on a contiguous memory locations. It is used to be a one memory chunk which will be divided like number of elements, and then which will be divided in number of elements, like 4 bytes each. So total, if there are integer roll number 10 and the size of the integer is 10, just a second here. So I was saying, if the size of one integer is 10, integer is the data type of a array which has the size 10. So size of integer is 4 byte. Total size of the array will be number of elements into the size of the one element. That will be 10 into 4 is equal to 40 bytes will be the total size. So 40 bytes will be the total size. This 40 bytes will be divided into the 10 memory chunks of 4 bytes each, but all 10 will be stored at contiguous memory locations. And in array, the type of the data element is used to be same for all. We have already specified here it like int. So these are the elements: roll number of 0, roll number of 1, roll number of 2, roll number of 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 9. So all these elements having the size integer. We can't say the first can be integer and the roll number 1 can be a character and then it can be a float. This is not possible here. So this is not possible here to have the different type of data elements. So for this purpose we have the structure. Structure also is a group of element. It also stores all the elements on contiguous memory locations, but the data type of elements can be different. That's the difference between an array and a structure. You see the definition of a structure here. It is a different data type. Okay, it is having the data items of different data type. This is the only difference between a structure and an array. Structures are used to represent a record. Suppose, for example, a school want to keep the track of students. Following attributes can be tracked for each student. What attributes can be there for students? These three. Just for example, name, array of characters. Okay, roll number will be like it will be a integer variable. Roll number, you know, it can be stored in an integer. So int roll number, here char name 50. This is the size of the name, size of the it is the number of characters which name can consist in it. Character is 1 byte, the size of character is 1 byte. Name can store 50 bytes continuously, which all will be characters. Percentage is a float variable. As you know, percentage can be resulted into an decimal number. So we have used float here. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So here you can see all three are of different type. This is character, this is integer, and this is float, and this will be grouped into one data type, and that data type will be called as structure. So we are defining it, that is why we call it user defined. If we wanted, we could take here 16, 32 the size. If we wanted here, we can take the roll number as float, we can take the percentage as double. So we are defining the data type of each data member, and we are only telling what structure is going to have of what size. So that is why we call it user defined. So how to define a structure? There is a struct keyword is there. This is the syntax of the structure. Okay, struct keyword is there, which tells the compiler that whatever is going to be written next will be the structure tag. Structure tag is the structure name. So this is how we define a structure here in this syntax. So struct keyword will be used. It is a reserved keyword for the compiler. Structure tag, you can use any name over here. You can use student, employee, book, anything. So member definition, you will be writing here. In this case, it will be a char name 50. Char is the data type, name is the array name, member name, and 50 will be its size. Int roll number, int float percentage. Likewise, we will be having here, this is the place before the semicolon and after the end braces of the definition. We can have here the structure variables over here. I will tell you later how we will be doing this with example. So here we have taken the same example, struct student, char name 50, int roll number, float percentage. This I have already explained to you. So here if you see, this is the size of the structure. If we add all the size what we have written over here, it will be the size of the one structure variable. But here up to now there is no size allocation is going to be here, no memory allocation is going to be here. Okay, so next is, there are two types of operators used for access members of a structure. Two types of operators. So you forgot this as of now. Dot operator we will be using this we will understand it by example. Okay, so one program I have already written, a hash include iostream using namespace std. Iostream we have used for std, and this will include inside cout and scene. Both are the object of OStream and iStream class, which belongs to iostream header file. That's why we need this iostream. You already know this. So here I am giving the definition as I have shown you in the presentation. Struct student char name 50, int roll number, float percentage. Okay, here I am taking this 50 as 32. This is for some memory allocation purpose. You leave it as of now. Okay, so maximum number of characters in a name will be 32. Okay, so here we will be seeing int main student s1 s2. so when we write this line, what we are doing, we are defining the structure variables of student. Actually we have told the compiler that s1 will be the first structure variable of this data type, s2 will be the second structure variable of this data type. Here actually the memory allocation is taking place. This is written earlier. So we have how much memory will be allocated. This is 32 bytes, this is 4 bytes roll number, this is 4 bytes. So 32 bytes plus 4, 36 plus 4, 40 bytes will be allocated. Okay, 40 bytes will be allocated over here. You see, here we have defined s1 and s2, two structure variables we have defined. Okay, this I have written as 32. Okay, this is the 32. Okay, so this is also written wrong. This is 32 bytes. You know, one character takes 1 byte, so 32 characters will be taking 32 bytes. Integer is 4 bytes, again percentage is of 4 bytes, so 32 plus 4 is equal to 40 bytes. Okay, 40 bytes are reserved for s1. Same for s2 also, 40 bytes will be reserved. So total 80 bytes. If we define s3 in our program, then same memory will be allocated here for roll number, for name, for roll number and for percentage. So here also 40 bytes. So more will be the structure variables, and then more will be the memory allocation will take place. What I am trying to say is, whenever we declare a structure variable, then only memory allocation takes place. When we define a structure, there is no memory allocation taking place in the program. So when we have defined s1 and s2, both are different memory location. When we need this name, when we need to access this name, we need to write s1 dot will be the operator, access operator, what I have told you, s1 dot name. This is how I will be accessing these s1 dot roll number, same s1 dot percentage, likewise. But if I need to access this, then I have to write like s2 dot name. Okay, s2 dot roll number. Same, I hope you have understood. So these are the memory locations. Let's say this memory location is 1024. Okay, the starting address of name. So from where roll number will be started, 1024 plus 32 will be equal to 1056. If you add up both of these things, this is the address, this is the size of the name, so this will be the new address from where roll number will get stored, and this is of 4 bytes, then 1060 will be the new address of the percentage. Likewise Same here, let's say here 2024 is the starting address of the name, then 2056 will be the roll number address and 2060 will be the percentage address. Okay, so this is how the memory allocation will take place. Question can come in exam, explain the memory allocation of a structure data type. So this is what you need to explain. First you need to define a structure, then you need to declare two variables, and then take one example and explain that this is how the memory allocation will take place. Okay. So this, let's come back to the practical example. Cout, enter the details of student S1. Cout, so here Cout means whatever we are going to write in double quotes, it will get printed as it is on the screen, on the black screen. We call it console output. What we call black screen is called as console output. So this is the output which came from console. Console means here keyboard. Okay, so it came from keyboard and it is the output of the keyboard, what we have taken input from the keyboard. Okay, so Cout, enter full name, it will be printing like enter full name. This they are saying enter the details of student S1, means S1, they are asking the details of S1. So when they have written enter full name, and they have said they have used here cin. Cin means they are expecting some input from the keyboard, which has to be stored where s1.name. s1.name is a memory location. What is the address? The address of s1.name is 1024. So at this memory location we need to store name of the s1.name. Okay, so here whatever we write, let's say I write Ram. Okay, Ram will be stored here. Okay, at this memory location. Whenever this memory location will refers to Ram, and you don't remember this number, whenever you want to access Ram, you need to write s1.name. So Ram will be accessed. Okay, let's say you have stored roll number, like let's say you have stored 24 here. Okay, so whenever you want to access this 24, you need to write s1.roll number. Likewise here you have written. So whenever you write this s1.roll number, this is what you have written here, it will access 24. Same way, let's say you have 54%, then this is s1 dot percentage. Dot is the access operator. Here I am trying to explain to you. S1 is the dot is the, this dot is the access operator. It will be used to access the member variable by the structure variable. Okay, okay, s1 dot name. So this one function you don't have studied it yet, so I will explain. This get is a function which will get the input from the keyboard, and here we need to write the name of the array, character array, s1 dot name. So here we have this 32, we need to change it to 32 as we have changed. So this is the size of the character array, this is the name of the character array. So whatever we are going to enter from the keyboard, it will store in s1 dot name using the cin dot get. Okay, Cout, enter the roll number. So it will print the same on the screen, cin s1 dot roll number. Roll number will be stored at s1 dot roll number. Cin, they are asking cin, so we need to give the input from the keyboard, console input. Again console output, it will be printed on screen. It is written in double quotes under Cout. Okay, if it is written in double quotes under Cout, then it will be printed as it is on screen. जैसा कि ये लिखा है वैसा ही स्क्रीन पर आउटपुट स्क्रीन, जो कि कंसोल आउटपुट स्क्रीन है, उस पर ऐसा ही लिखा आएगा, cin s1 dot percentage. सो यहाँ पर हमने परसेंटेज को स्टोर कर लिया। किसकी परसेंटेज को, S1 की या S2? यहाँ पर S1 की परसेंटेज को हमने स्टोर किया है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर हमने S1 लिखा है। अगर हम S2 लिखते, जैसे कि अभी हम यहाँ पर क्या है, एंटर द डिटेल्स, सी आउट एंटर द डिटेल्स ऑफ द स्टूडेंट S2 एंड L इज फॉर लाइन चेंज, यू नो ऑलरेडी, ओके। सो you ignore this statement scene.sync, I will explain you later on, okay. This cout enter the full name, we are asking the name of the student S2, this we have told S2, okay. Now scene.get S2.name, you can see here we are using S2.name, here we need to use 32 also, okay. You can see here we are using S2, but if you see here at line number 25 we are using S1, okay. Here we are using S2, so S1 dot name मतलब S1 का नाम, S2 dot name मतलब S2 का नाम, okay. Same here, enter roll number S2 dot roll number, scene S2 dot roll number, जो भी हम एंट्री करेंगे वो S2 dot roll number में स्टोर होगी। यहाँ पर अगर आप देखें, जो भी हम एंट्री करेंगे, आप जो एंट्री करेंगे, जैसे मान लो 5 रोल नंबर बताया मैंने S2 का यहाँ पर, तो जो 5 होगा वो इस मेमोरी लोकेशन के अंदर जाके स्टोर होगा 2056 के अंदर। वहाँ पर जो एंट्री कर रहे थे, जब S1 डॉट रोल नंबर लिख रहे थे, वो 1056 के अंदर स्टोर हुआ था, यहाँ पर जो किया था हमने, ओके। So if you see here, let's come back again on the example S2 dot roll number, S2 dot percentage, okay. So here what we are doing, C in, okay. C in means we are asking the programmer to input the values of name, of roll number, of percentage of student S1. First we have taken the input of S1, here this is S1 input we have taken. S1 का नाम क्या है, रोल नंबर क्या है, परसेंटेज क्या है, ये हमने यूज़र से कीबोर्ड के थ्रू पूछा और यूज़र ने हमें बता दिया, और हमने उस बताए हुए इनपुट को सी इन ऑब्जेक्ट का यूज़ करके S1 के लिए जो मेमोरी अलोकेशन अलोकेट किया गया था, वहाँ पर हमने ये तीनों चीज़ जो यूज़र ने कीबोर्ड से इनपुट की वो हमने स्टोर कर ली हैं। अब वो हमने स्टोर तो कर ली, सेम वे S2 की भी हमने स्टोर कर ली, ऐसे ही सीन का यूज़ करके हमने यूज़र से पूछा, यूज़र ने इनपुट दिया कीबोर्ड से, और वो हमने एक मेमोरी लोकेशन जो S2 के लिए अलोकेट किया था हमने, वहाँ पर ये तीनों स्टोर हो चुके हैं, ओके। अब ये स्टोर तो हो गए, बट वी नीड टू शो दैम बैक टू द यूज़र। अब जब हम इनको दिखाएंगे, अब हमसे यूज़र अगर कहे कि व्हाट इज़ द इनपुट ऑफ द, यूज़र हमसे पूछे कि शो मी द डिटेल्स ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर S1, तो हम उसे बताएंगे कि S1 का नाम ये है, S1 का रोल नंबर ये है, S1 की परसेंटेज ये है। और यूज़र हमसे कहे कि हमें S2 का रोल नंबर दिखाइए, तो हमें उसको S2 का रोल नंबर दिखाना पड़ेगा। सो हाउ वी विल बी एक्सेसिंग द रोल नंबर ऑफ S2, वी विल बी यूजिंग S2 डॉट रोल नंबर, S2 डॉट रोल नंबर वी विल बी यूजिंग लाइक दिस, ओके। S2 डॉट रोल नंबर, ओके, you see here, see, अगर वो हमसे पूछे कि S2 का रोल नंबर क्या है, तो हम उसको सी आउट के अंदर करके सी आउट ऑब्जेक्ट का यूज़ करेंगे। क्यों? सॉरी, क्योंकि अब हम उन्हें दिखा रहे हैं, हम यूज़र को बता रहे हैं, तो हम सी आउट यूज़ करेंगे। हम यूज़र से अगर पूछते हैं तो सी इन यूज़ करते हैं, ओके। अगर हम लिखेंगे S1 डॉट नेम, इट मीन्स हम स्टूडेंट S1 जो था उसका नाम एक्सेस कर रहे हैं, और उसको सी आउट के अंदर लिख दिया। आप नोट करें ये बात, यहाँ पे सी आउट के अंदर लिखा है, यहाँ पर पहले सी इन के अंदर लिखा था। अभी हम सी आउट के अंदर लिख रहे हैं, तो इसका मतलब हम यूज़र को दिखा रहे हैं, हम डिस्प्ले कर रहे हैं, फिलहाल डिस्प्लेइंग द इन्फॉर्मेशन। सी आउट डिस्प्ले करने के काम आता है। S1 डॉट नेम हमने यूज़र को दिखाना है स्क्रीन पे, सो वी आर राइटिंग S1 डॉट नेम। हमने यूज़र को रोल नंबर दिखाना है, तो हम रखेंगे S1 डॉट रोल नंबर। सी आउट रोल नंबर ये जो इसके अंदर है डबल कोट्स के अंदर, जो कि ग्रीन कलर में आप देख रहे हो, जो भी कुछ यहाँ पे ग्रीन कलर में आप देख रहे हो बैकग्राउंड ग्रीन कलर के साथ, वो ऐसा का ऐसा ही प्रिंट होगा कंसोल आउटपुट स्क्रीन पर। S1 डॉट रोल नंबर, S1 डॉट परसेंटेज, इस तरीके से स्क्रीन पर आ जाएगा। और यहाँ पर आप एक ये इसको बोलते हैं कैस्केडिंग ऑफ सी आउट। हम मल्टीपल इंसर्शन ऑपरेटर बोलते हैं इसको। ये जो डबल शिफ्ट के लेफ़्ट शिफ्ट का जो साइन आप देख रहे हो, ये हम इसको इंसर्शन ऑपरेटर भी बोलते हैं। तो जब हम इसका यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो इसका हम सी आउट स्टेटमेंट में 2 बार यूज़ कर रहे हैं। यहाँ पर तो लाइन नंबर 43 में 3 बार यूज़ कर रहे हैं, एक बार यहाँ पर, एक बार यहाँ पर ये, और एक बार यहाँ पर। ओके, 3 बार यूज़ कर रहे हैं। तो जब एक, अब यहाँ पर देखिए लाइन नंबर 31 में लाइन नंबर 26 में सिर्फ एक ही बार लिखा है हमने ये जो डबल शिफ्ट लेफ़्ट शिफ्ट का साइन है, इसको बोलते हैं इंसर्शन ऑपरेटर। तो जब इंसर्शन ऑपरेटर का यूज़ सी आउट में एक ही बार हो तो कुछ नहीं, लेकिन अगर मल्टीपल टाइम्स अगर इस ऑपरेटर का यूज़ होता है सी आउट में एक ही स्टेटमेंट में, तो उसको बोलते हैं हम कैस्केडिंग ऑफ इंसर्शन ऑपरेटर। वी कैन यूज़ एज मैनी टाइम्स एज वी वांट, जितनी मर्जी बार चाहें हम उतनी बार यूज़ कर सकते हैं। यहाँ इस लाइन नंबर 47 में 3 बार इसका यूज़ हो रहा है। सो इसको बोलते हैं हम कैस्केडिंग। यहाँ पे मैं लिख रहा हूँ कैस्केडिंग ऑफ इंसर्शन ऑपरेटर। ओके, दिस इज कैस्केडिंग ऑफ इंसर्शन ऑपरेटर। आपने देखा होगा अभी सीन में हमने ऐसा काम नहीं किया है जो कि हम मल्टीपल टाइम यूज़ करें, बट हम चाहें तो सी इन में भी मल्टीपल टाइम यूज़ कर सकते हैं। वी विल एक्सप्लेन इट लेटर। ओके, सो you just understand that multiple use of this sign, we call it insertion operator here when we use it with cout, and multiple use of insertion operator in single statement is called cascading of insertion operator. Okay, so I am moving forward now. So here we have roll number, cout roll number, the S2 dot roll number. This displaying information of student S1. They have said cout name, S1 dot name, and line change. Cout roll number, S1 dot roll number, line change. Cout percentage, S1 dot percentage, and line change. Same here we are doing displaying information of student S2. Whatever we are writing in the double quotes with the green background will be written as it is. Okay, cout name, S2 dot name, cout roll number, S2 dot roll number, cout percentage, S2 dot percentage. Okay, so this is over. So we will save it first and we will compile it. Okay, I am compiling it. Now I am running it. Okay, see, they are asking the details of student S1. I am entering it like Ram Kumar. Okay, that's Ram Kumar. Okay, enter roll number. Roll number, let's say 23 is the roll number. Percentage will be 76.8. Then they are saying enter the details of student S2. I am saying enter full name. They are saying I am saying Lakshman Kumar. Okay, this is the name of the second student. Enter roll number. Roll number 25. Enter percentage. Percentage 78.40. Okay, I have pressed enter. See, once I have pressed enter here, this is saying displaying information for student S1. I hope you are able to see. The font is very small. Displaying information. I am reading it out. Okay, it is written that displaying information for student S1, name Ram Kumar, roll number 23, percentage 76.8. Same way it is written for student S2, name Lakshman Kumar, roll number 25, percentage 78.4. So here in the second when it tries to display, it access that memory location where we have stored all the input. To show everything what we have given as input, it need to access those memory location where we have stored all the data, and it access it back and put it on the screen. This is what we are doing in the program. Okay, now let's once more understand it using a debugger. Step by step execution we will see. I am putting one breakpoint in the main function. This is the entry point of any program. Okay, main function is the entry point of any program. Entry point means entry point of every program. हर प्रोग्राम मेन फंक्शन से ही स्टार्ट होगा, चाहे ऊपर नीचे कुछ भी लिखा है उससे मतलब नहीं है. जब भी हम इसको डीबग करते हैं, सी डू यू वांट, यू हैव नॉट इनेबल्ड, this is something she, okay, I am saying no, just wait, close, okay, okay, so now we are debugging it. Okay, enter the details for the student S1. Okay, and so no, I don't know how it is coming, wait, execution, run, not run, let's debug it. It is again, it's not stopping. Rebuild all. We are saying errors 0. I am rebuilding it with the debug information because I have changed the compiler, so I am rebuilding it. Errors are 0, warnings are 0. Now I am debugging it. Debugging it means we want to see the step by step execution of this program. Okay, so here breakpoint is there, it has shown this black screen but nothing is there. Why? Because it is stopped here. This the blue color with the background blue, whatever we are seeing, it is the active breakpoint. Active breakpoint means the program has stopped here, so we need to press next line. Okay, I have pressed next line, so we will see the output. See, enter the details of student S1, enter the full name. See, I have these two lines have been executed, 23 and 24. Now it is on line number 25. I am pressing again 20 next line. Okay, so it is waiting for input now. See, because until we don't give any input, it will not go further. And it doesn't matter how many times I press next line. Why it is not going further? Because it is waiting for my input from the keyboard. So I have to write here something. Let's write here Sita Kumari. Okay, now enter roll number. Okay, roll number 4. I have pressed next line many times, so it is going by its own now. 65.5. okay, enter the details of student S2, enter full name Geeta Kumari. See, whenever I am pressing this I just want to, okay, I hope you will be able to see. So when I enter Geeta, once I am entering roll number, I am giving roll number, it is 5. I am pressing enter. This blue color, this active breakpoint will move further. Okay, see, they are asking s2 dot percentage. Okay, now it is waiting for me because we will be able to see the output again. Before going further, let's put one breakpoint here, so it will stop here. It will stop on line number 41. Okay, percentage I will enter like 87. It is not taking it. Once I need to press next line, then only it will take. Okay, 87 I have pressed, so I have given, so again it will stopping here. So we will see one by one. I am pressing next line. You see output here, displaying information for student S1, because this line is passed by the debugger. Okay, now again next line. Okay, by mistake I pressed twice it. So see, it is saying two things: name Sita Kumari, roll number 4. So it has accessed this s1 dot name, s1 dot roll number. If we say percentage, again I need to press next. So you will be see the percentage 65.5. This is what we entered, 65.5. So it is accessing the same thing. Okay, next. So 4 things we have seen. Displaying information for student S2 Geeta Kumari, roll number 5. See here we have entered 5 only while giving the input. Next, again percentage you can see 87. Okay, next. Okay, over. The execution is over. Okay, I'm removing this breakpoint also. So this is what we have done. Briefly explaining again to end the lecture, we can declare this is the definition of the student. Struct is the keyword which is used to define it. It can have the different data type. Here we have character, integer and float. These are the different data types and all are packed into one data type. The new data type is generated is called student. The name we give him here, structure student. This is the new data type, so we call it structure. Structure is a group of data items of different data types. This is the declaration of student. This is the declaration of the structure variables, student S1, S2. We need to write student here, S1 and S2, so it will be declared here. So instead of doing it here, see I am commenting it, you know how to comment. So instead of giving it here, I can give it here also, S1, S2. We can, हम दोनों जगह में से किसी भी एक जगह दे सकते हैं, ये दोनों ही सही हैं. ओके, सो यहाँ पर जब हम यहाँ देते हैं तो मेमोरी एलोकेशन यहीं हो जाता है. जब हम यहाँ दे रहे थे तो मेमोरी एलोकेशन यहाँ पर होता था, जो मेमोरी रिजर्व होती है. ओके, enter the details of the student S1. This is again we are taking input for S1, we are taking input for S2, we are displaying the information for S1 and S2 and return 0. The program is over. So I hope it is clear for everyone. If there are any doubts, please let me know in comments. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any suggestion, you can suggest me as well in comments. Okay, thank you so much.